Welcome everyone. Welcome Brandon, Brett, Gary, Lucy, Paul, Sebastian, Sheshu. We've got Shri, Trina. Welcome everyone. We have today, I'm Sherlyn Peter, your client manager for the Jubilee Owners Corporation in the Jubilee community. And we also have Saranya here from Quantum United Management. Saranya is your client manager associate. So we both work very closely with each other in all things Jubilee and your Owners Corporation. We also have today here with us Phil and Alan, who are the members of the Millquarter Owners Corporation Committee. Unfortunately, we're just trying our best to get their cameras working, but I just thought in the meanwhile, we'll get the sessions started for tonight. Today, this evening, we will be covering a range of topics related to the Jubilee Owners Corporations. As you're all aware, there are 5 Owners Corporations at the moment within Jubilee, and I will be touching on the structure of the Jubilee community and the 5 OCs. We will be talking a little bit about the common property that each of the Owners Corporation has. We'll talk about the roles and responsibilities of the owners, the committee members, and just also in relation to the committee election process as well. And Saranya today will be touching on topics such as the community presentation inspections that we carry out, and also just touch on the community events and the communication that we have with all our owners at the estate. I will start to share my screen with the presentation. Perfect. As I touched on before, we will just touch on what an Owners Corporation is, talk a little bit about Quantum, about your Owners Corporation Committee, and I'll touch on the different Owners Corporations within the Jubilee community, community presentation, and also the communications and the events that we have within our beautiful community. In relation to the Owners Corporation in Victoria, an Owners Corporation is created upon the registration of a plan of subdivision. Within the Jubilee estate, there are 5 different plan of subdivisions. You can see on the right-hand side of the presentation, the plan of subdivision numbers listed. So them being the Millquarter OC, the Urban Square OC, Scholars Green, Kilpatrick North, and then Kilpatrick South. All of these Owners Corporations actually operate as separate entities. So they're pretty much like an individual company being legislated with different pieces of legislation, such as the Owners Corporation Act 2006, the Owners Corporation Regulations 2018, the Owners Corporation Registered Rules, which is specific to your each Owners Corporation registered on the plan of subdivision, and also the Owners Corporation Model Rules. Phil, you have a question? Sorry.
Sorry, just there's some other people waiting in the lobby to come in. Just thought I'll
okay, sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Saranya, are you able to let them in? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. As just touched on before, it's automatically created upon the plan of subdivision. So when a land would have been purchased by the developer, they will have a plan approved by the council and also by the local authorities. And then these plans will be submitted at the Land Titles Victoria. And then upon registration of the plan of subdivision, an Owners Corporation is created. An Owners Corporation will always have a common property in place, which triggers the Owners Corporation. And I will touch on the different common property areas for each of the Owners Corporations within the community. An Owners Corporation is a legal entity that combines all lot owners in a plan of subdivision. So every single lot owner within a plan of subdivision becomes a member of the Owners Corporation. So each lot owner is, has an obligation as a member of the Owners Corporation and must act in accordance with all the required legislations, such as the OC Act, the OC regulations, the model rules, and the registered Owners Corporation rules. The Owners Corporation also makes rules which are binding on all the OC members and the tenants regarding the use of common property and their lots. And this includes matters such as the maintenance of your front yard and, the little things that we conduct the compliance inspections for. As long as they're in the registered Owners Corporation rules, the owners and the tenants have an obligation to comply with those rules. This legislation is passed by the Victorian Parliament and provides a legal framework on how the OC is operated. So this is defined and it's something that it defines the operation of all owners corporation within Victoria, and all owners corporations within operates in such manner. Now, what does it mean for lot owners within these owners corporations? So as an owner of or a lot owner within an owners corporation, every lot has a financial and legal obligation to do various things, but some of the highlights are that owners have to approve an annual budget at each AGM to meet the owners corporation's operational expenses. Every owners corporation have their specific obligations, such as have the financials audited, or have run their AGMs each year. There's a cost associated with that. Tier 1 owners corporation must have an owners corporation manager. So the costs associated with the management fee and any other administrative fees associated with that. And in the case of Jubilee, you also have the security patrols being carried out. So the owners have the obligation to ensure that the creditors are paid on time for their services. And also the other thing that we have in place for the Jubilee community is the recreational facility fee for the use and access to Club Jubilee 1. The owners have the obligation to contribute their share of the budget incurred to administer and manage the owners corporation, any repairs and maintenance of common property as well. Now, how does this, how is the share of the budget calculated for each of the owner? When the plan of subdivision is registered, the surveyor who drafts the plan of subdivision puts together a table with lot liabilities. So the lot liabilities defines how much portion of the budget is required to be paid by each owner. Now, in relation to the Jubilee Owners Corporation, all residential lots, standard residential lots within the Jubilee Owners Corporation has the equal lot liability within each of their owners corporations. So it's uniform. Some owners corporations within Victoria may have different lot liability, but that's not applicable to the Jubilee. And lastly, in relation to the owners corporation owners obligations, all owners are required to comply with the legislation rules and the regulations. In relation to the fees that the owners pay as part of the owners corporation fees, I'd like to just touch on where the fees goes to and the fee contribution apportionment for the owners corporation. I can just break it down into 4 different components, being administration and management, compliance management, membership fee for Club Jubilee 1, and security patrols. The membership fee for Club Jubilee 1 makes up predominant portion of your budget, which is $900 per lot per annum, and the remaining is made up of the administration and management, including your audit, your disbursement fees, cost for your AGM, quantums management fee, compliance management, so on and so forth, and other portions would include security patrol costs. We'd just like to touch on Quantum United Management, as we are your owners corporation management company. You can call us a secretary of the owners corporation, and we manage all things administratively in terms of making sure that the owners corporation is operated in line with the Owners Corporation Act, the regulations and other legislations. We convene and conduct the committee meetings, liaise with your committee. We assist with the financial reporting, so on and so forth. But just quickly delve deeper into that. I've introduced myself and Saranya this evening. We also have a number of others working for the Jubilee community. We have a compliance team that's led by Patricia Barnes, and there are at least 3 other members within that team that specifically works for Jubilee, conducting inspections, liaising with owners and residents. We have our general manager, Jordan Smith, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but Jordan oversees the whole team in terms of the operations of the management team for Jubilee, and our managing director, Michael Darby. I'll quickly touch on the main aspects of the areas of our roles and responsibilities as your Owners Corporation manager. Business administration, we hold records of all the owners, members of the Owners Corporation, and that's called it's required under the Owners Corporation Act. We hold all the records in terms of the rules, the guidelines. Any updated details are sent to our office to be updated. We hold the records of the minutes of the meetings, the plan of subdivision, anything related to your Owners Corporation. We also ensure that the Owners Corporation complies with the rules and the regulations. So we ensure that the AGMs and the committee meetings are convened in according to the meeting processes and procedures. We ensure that the audit requirements are met appropriately, and we ensure that the debt recovery is performed appropriately, the fee recovery and the fee notices are issued in accordance with the Act and the regulation as well. We're also heavily involved in community engagement. We assist with the facilitation and organization of community events. We endeavor to be communicative with all our owners and residents through various channels, such as your newsletters that we do every month, and we have daily phone calls and emails that we receive from owners and residents as well, and that just sort of, putting it in a nutshell as to what we do. We'll now touch on the Owners Corporation Committee, as the committee is an integral part of your Owners Corporation, along with your Owners Corporation manager being Quantum United. Your committee is the main representative of the whole entire community. I'll now hand over to Saranya, who will take on from here.
So, although owners collectively create the Owners Corporation, to manage and administer the Owners Corporation, a committee is elected at the annual general meeting, and they work alongside the OC manager, in this instance, it's Quantum, to meet the Owners Corporation's obligations. Now, next slide, Sherlyn. So with the committee's roles and responsibilities, one of the main role is financial management. Committee members have an obligation to review the financials of the Owners Corporation, including the income and the expenses incurred. They are required to check if the expenses are in line with the adopted budget for the financial year. Close to the end of the financial year, the committee have a meeting with the Owners Corporation manager to draft the budget for the following financial year, which also determines the fees for that particular year. The next important role would be to enforce the Owners Corporation rules, and the members are also expected to have an understanding of the Owners Corporation Act, regulations, and the model rules. Now, with the committee meeting attendance, members are expected to attend on a regular basis as much as possible, which would assist in them reviewing the Owners Corporation's financials consistently. They are also heavily involved in making ongoing decisions on behalf of the owners between the annual general meeting, and the committee is also delegated the authority to make decisions on behalf of all owners within the Owners Corporation. They are required to be fair and unbiased while making these decisions for the betterment of the community. Members can also raise issues and provide feedback to the Owners Corporation manager for appropriate operation of the Owners Corporation. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of the committee election and operation, usually a committee has a minimum of 3 members and up to 7 members, which is in accordance with the Owners Corporation Act, and these members are elected at the annual general meeting. If you wish to nominate yourself to be part of the committee, you can send through a committee nomination form, which is also part of the annual general meeting documents, or you can email us and we can send a copy to you. Alternatively, you can also nominate verbally at the meeting itself if you are present. Please be advised that in order for you to nominate yourself, you need to ensure that your financials are up to date, meaning that you should not have any outstanding arrears on your account. If you're unsure if you've got any outstanding balance, please feel free to call us and we can let you know. The expectation, and usually there are about 5 to 6 committee meetings every year, and the attendance requirement according to the OC Act is a committee member must attend a minimum of 50% of the committee meetings. If a member is absent for more than 25%, or more within a period of 6 months without giving any prior notice or reasonable explanation to the rest of the committee for their absence, the committee may resolve for that member to cease hold office as a committee member. A committee induction is something that Quantum is very thorough. So Quantum does provide a thorough induction to the members at the first committee meeting after the annual general meeting. And it is at this meeting where the members present elect a chairperson, acting chair, and a secretary. As part of the induction process, we also do recommend the committee members to do a small fiduciary duty test to ensure the members have undivided loyalty, the ability to identify difference between reality and perception, duty to be informed and see all sides thinking and planning ahead. They're also expected to declare any conflicts of interest in respect to the items on the agenda and the decisions being made. And there's also the requirement that committee members should not be in arrears as they will lose their ability to vote in meetings.
Thank you,
Shirley, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. Sure, thank you. As we touched on before, the Jubilee community is made up of 5 different owners corporations, being the Mill Quarter, Urban Square, Kilpatrick now North, South, and Scholars Green. And I have a map here to just indicate where each of these owners corporations are. Kilpatrick North and South are within the Mill Quarter, but they're just on the left side of the Mill Quarter, a small narrow portion. And then you've got between the Mill Quarter and Urban Square is Scholars Green. In relation to Mill Quarter, which is with the planned subdivision number noted on the slide, this is the largest OC owners corporation within the community and has a total of 1,181 lots at the moment. And this is just a snapshot of the Mill Quarter OC from its plan of subdivision. We thought we'll take this opportunity to indicate where all the common properties are for each of the OCs. For the Mill Quarter Owners Corporation, the common properties are highlighted in yellow, as you can see on the snippet from the plan of subdivision. So it's just those three areas around the IGA, the childcare center, and the jetty area. And we've done an aerial view as well on the right-hand side. And they're all common property number 1. And this common property is what triggers an owners corporation. And we've just taken some pictures of what the areas look like, and that walkway just next to that lake is common area, and just around the walkway here as well. While we're just talking about the Mill Quarter Owners Corporation, I'd like to just remind everyone that there is an owners corporation annual general meeting for the Mill Quarter Owners Corporation only. We do understand that the link was circulated on the residents' Facebook page, and we have gone through the registrations. And for those members who are not part of the Mill Quarter Owners Corporation, we've advised them that the registration cannot be processed. But we're working through a budget with the other owners corporation committees, such as the Kilpatrick North, South, Scholars Green, and Urban Square. Once this is finalized, the AGM details will be circulated. But all owners corporations, all 5 owners corporations will have their individual AGMs. Unfortunately, we cannot have members from other owners corporations join other owners corporations AGMs at this point. And the main items that we generally cover within these AGMs are, the budget for the financial year is approved at the AGM, which defines your fees. And also a major part is the election of a committee. Saranya went through with you on how you can nominate to be on the committee. I have received several emails today in relation to members wanting to join. I will endeavor to respond to them as soon as possible. But in a nutshell, if you wish to join the committee, you may just be present at the meeting, ensure that you're paid up to date, that your fees must all be up to date. If you're not attending the meeting, please send me a committee nomination form, and we can nominate you at the annual general meeting. This is the Urban Square snapshot from the plan of subdivision, and the common property is also highlighted on the right-hand side, and that's the aerial view of where the common property is for the Urban Square OC. And this owners corporation has a total of 244 lots at the moment. And this is the Kilpatrick this is the Kilpatrick North Owners Corporation, and the common area is also marked as yellow, and it's in the picture at the bottom. It's that small triangular portion, the concrete portion next to that reserve there. And this is your Kilpatrick South. It's that triangular area, the grassed area around the bend on the corner of Pascolo and Hammersmith Road. And then lastly, your Scholars Green Owners Corporation. On that roundabout picture, it's that area marked in red with that red line is your common property for Scholars Green. Scholars Green Owners Corporation has a total of 228 lots at the moment. Now we'll touch on the community presentation, the inspections that are carried out and the compliance process that is in place. And Saranya will be covering those topics for us.
Now, with compliance, it's a very important task that is carried out by Quantum within the Jubilee Owners Corporation. The main purpose of compliance inspections are that it encourages the visual appealing streetscape, so basically maintaining the visual appearance of the estate. It also provides a standard and consistency of housing and landscaping. It assures that owners also contribute equally in achieving that clean and neat neighborhood character. And also importantly, it also causes the owner's investment to be protected. So basically the land value is also improved based on that. Next slide. With the inspection team, the inspections are conducted based on 4 main owners corporation registered rules. The first one is the maintenance of landscaping. So this is whereby the front yard is looked at whether it has been well maintained, the grass is mowed and free of weeds and rubbish. Second one is the maintenance of nature strips, whereby once again it needs to be maintained and free of any hard waste or rubbish. And if I'll take this opportunity to remind owners, if you have placed any hard waste on your nature strip and you've booked in for a hard waste collection, please do send us an email to advise us of the date of the collection so that the compliance management team can hold off any further compliance management until that particular date. Now, the next Owners Corporation rule is rubbish bins. So please ensure that your bins are stored away from street view, which is a requirement according to the OC rules. Now, obviously, the on-site team does not breach owners when they're kept out on rubbish collection days. So they ensure that they do the inspections on all the other days, respectively. The last OC rule would be maintaining your vacant lot neat and tidy. So please ensure if you have a vacant block of land, please ensure you have installed temporary fencing around the property to ensure there's no hard rubbish thrown into, or it provides some kind of security until your construction begins. And it is up to the lot owner's responsibility to ensure that their vacant plot of land is maintained neat and tidy. And also I would take this opportunity to please remind your builders as well to ensure that all the hard waste is maintained within the block of land, as it would also be considered as non-compliant if this is not followed. We move on to the compliance breach process in Jubilee. So these are the different steps that are followed in the breach process. The first one would be the courtesy letter. So upon the first time of inspection of the lot, our team drops in a letter into the letterbox, provided that there is a matter that is non-compliant on the lot, and they also receive an email. This letter gives them 14 days of time to rectify that particular matter, and after which the team goes back again to re-inspect, and if the matter is closed, if the matter has been resolved, they close the breach. Now, in the instance it's not resolved yet, it goes on to the letter of demand stage, which is another reminder to advise the lot owner to ensure it's rectified within 14 days. Now, following this, they get 14 days again, and it moves on to a section 155 where it has a charge attached to it, and owners get 28 days to rectify. Now, this is the first step in relation to the Owners Corporation Act, where it's a sort of like a legal letter which owners receive. Now, in most cases, a lot of owners do reach out to us before this stage and request for extensions, because our aim is to work with the owners as much as possible rather than taking them to that next stage where they're get hit with that particular fee. So we try to work with owners as much as possible to, to get this resolved before they reach that stage. Now, following 28 days, a reinspection is conducted, and Section 159 is the next and final notice to rectify the non-compliance matter, which also gives them 28 days. Now, post this breach, if the matter is still non-compliant, it goes to a grievance committee meeting where the lot owners and the committee organize a date and time to sit and discuss the dispute and come to a mutual agreeable resolution. And this also has a charge that is on charge to the owner as well. And the final resort is going to VCAT if the matter is still not resolved at the grievance committee meeting stage. Slide, please. Now, we as Quantum, we are very particular about ensuring the community is updated with all the latest information about the community as much as possible. So our channels of communication is mostly through e-bulletins, which is the newsletters you would have received. So we usually send out a monthly newsletter with all the updates, including compliance, fee reminders, your security statistics. So to ensure that the community is aware of, all the things that are happening within your estate. And we also hold information sessions sometimes for each owners corporation individually. And in this instance, we combined all of it together. We also have member education, whereby we recently did online educational workshop for committee members to provide them a better understanding of how the owners corporation financials can be understood better. And we also endeavor to look at doing these similar workshops for the rest of the community, because that will help improve more awareness and knowledge about how your own owners corporation works and what your fees are contributed towards. Slide, please.
Thank you.
Now, with events, one of our main focuses with community engagement is events. So the values of your committee and Quantum are very closely aligned in the commitment to engage the community through events. So Christmas, Easter, as you can see in the photos, and Diwali are the most popular events we've hosted so far. And they've been a huge success. So we've had great turnouts for all these major events we've also hosted online competitions such as Mother's Day, which was released recently. We do try to keep these events interesting every year and try to look for more ideas every year so that it is exciting for both adults and kids. So if you have any new ideas that you would like to contribute, please feel free to shoot us an email. And that would be the end of our presentation. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now.
Thank you, Saranya. We just do have a few questions. I will stop sharing my screen. There's a few questions that are on the Q&A box. I'll try to answer them as I go. We've got a question here from Sebastian. Asking, coming back to the fees, $900 of the total fees are allocated to the expenses related to the facility center. Yes, that's the current fee per lot per annum in accordance with the facility agreement that is in place. Sebastian, I hope that answers your question. The next question we have here is from Shri. Where can we see calendar for the committee meetings? So the committee meetings are organized with the specific committee members only. And having said that, there's no calendar as such shared with the whole community. However, the committee meeting minutes are available to all community members. So you can reach out to Quantum, or one will be available on the community app or your owner's portal if you don't have access to the app. But please feel free to reach out to us if you wish to view the committee meeting minutes at any time. Thank you, Shri. We have another question. I think Saranya is typing an answer. Gary, we have a question from you. How often does the compliance management team patrol the estate? We do it once or twice a week at this stage with more owners corporations that we started managing early this year. So Mondays and Tuesdays are when the team are out within the Jubilee estate. There's usually 2 compliance team members driving around the estate with us, so you can identify who we are. Thank you for that question, Gary. We have an anonymous member with a question. I am a bit unsure if this empty land compliance must be handled only by the lot owner. I see people building houses and their builders are dumping rejects on adjacent open lot. Fencing can't prevent it, so why not bring the neighboring lots going under construction to share the responsibilities? We can't punish the lot owner for not being on 24/7 watch on the land. Absolutely agree with you. It is unfair. And we will certainly work with you. If you do know the responsible party dumping the rubbish, we can certainly reach out to those particular lot owners and request for assistance. Failing which, we can always liaise with the council for assistance as well. And we're certainly not putting the onus on the owner of the vacant land, but what we're suggesting is if we can try as much as possible to protect your piece of land, we can always support you with other communication with the respective lot owners. Thank you for that question. Amit, you have a question. Oh, that's the same question. Amit, I think you've changed your name, so I've answered that. Constance, is the corporate fees change all the time? Yes. However, your committee and as your manager, we will endeavor to ensure that your financial, the Owners Corporation financial is consistent and maintained at a consistent level. There will certainly be slight increases, if not each year, but every alternative year. And this is with all the other prices going up, the services provided for your Owners Corporation, there will be increases, but your Owners Corporation's priority is to ensure that, appropriate financial management is undertaken and that your fees are not increased significantly. So your committee are well aware of that. Thank you. This is that. Fadil, please explain further about the estate-wide security, how it is run. So the security patrol team are there every night, and I won't specify the time because then it defeats the purpose of the patrols being around there. But then they do have a number that has been provided. We do provide their phone number in our monthly newsletters as well. If you need further information, contact us and we can provide you those details. But they do attend to calls, any emergency situations, they do attend to that. If it is a serious crime matter, we highly recommend, and the first protocol should be to call the local police. And you can always call YPG security, who do the patrols, who will be able to assist you in the time the police can attend to the incident. So please always ensure you call the police in the first instance when a matter is of urgent matter. I hope that answers your question, Fadil. If you need any further information, please reach out to us. There's a lot of information that we can provide as well. Amit, does the common area add to the OC fees in case of Scholars Green? Which area would cover that upcoming playgrounds? No, the common areas that I showed, or the largest parcels of common area within Jubilee at the moment is within the Mill Quarter OC, which is those little walkways around the childcare and the IGA and the lake, whereas all the other owners corporations being Kilpatrick North, South, Scholars Green, and and Urban Square, they have very tiny parcels of common area, common property. The only expense that common property has is that we need to take out insurance for that parcel of land. So your Owners Corporation is responsible to take appropriate insurance policy for that parcel of land only. I hope that answers your question.
Michelle, just one quick
Anna?
question. We saw the common property on the other plan. Some of them are just extended footpath. Like how that's working? Like footpaths are mostly looked after by the council in most areas. Some of the photos you show is just a bench with an extended footpath. So
yeah,
why?
I don't think. So it's actually the grassed area, not really the footpath. So what happens is it's a very common structure that a lot of the developments within Australia are incorporating at the moment. They trigger an Owners Corporation with a tiny parcel of land, and through which then you have various ability for the Owners Corporation to perform things such as your community presentation, inspections, community events. Sometimes the common property is actually the club, which in this case, for Jubilee, it's through the facility agreement. So the common area, the common property triggers the OC, which provides the ability to have that facility agreement in place for members to have access to the club that we have here at Jubilee. So it's a very common thing that we've seen us various developments within Australia, Anand. But I will share I will make this available on the portal and the app, the areas, but it's not actually the walkway, it's the little grassed area around the walkway, and I will mark it properly as well.
Okay, thank
I
you.
hope that answered your question,
Yeah,
Anand.
It does,
yeah.
but it kind of looks like it's a very little patch. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it is.
what the plan's going to do presentation on that, but anyways, thank you.
Thank you, Anand. The next question we have here from Amit: where do we draw the line in between OC and council's responsibilities, accountabilities, and rights? So the plan of subdivision clearly identifies the common area. So the Honest Corporation is only responsible for that parcel of land and nothing else. So in most communities, the roads, the reserves, the parklands, once they're developed, the developer hands it back to the council for ongoing maintenance. Some owners corporation have different arrangements where there's a section 172 agreement, I think it's called, where the council has an agreement with owners corporations to maintain these specific areas, but we understand that Jubilee does not have anything like that. So the OC is not responsible for the maintenance of parklands or roads or reserves or anything. I hope that answers your question, Amit. And the next question we have: how does the service contracts work if there are multiple separate owners corporations? How is the cost of the service divided between the different OCs? So the owners corporations within Jubilee are all operated as individual entities. So Quantum treats them as a separate client. So the AGMs are run separately because we have a separate plan of subdivision for each owners corporation. We have a separate account for each owners corporation, a separate list of owners. So each OC is handled individually, and each OC has individual obligations to comply with. And however, because all of the owners corporations are within the community, we do endeavor to carry out community initiatives such as your events. Community presentation is also conducted as a whole as well. And an information session such as this is also just a wide thing we do. In relation to the service contracts, each of the most of your service contracts are based on lot numbers. So for example, the security patrol costs are apportioned in accordance with the number of lots. So the higher number of lots that the OC has, the more fee they pay towards. But that makes it fair and equitable to each lot owner paying. So each lot owner will be paying the same amount, and that's the way it's done based on the number of lots within each OC. I hope that was clear. We've got Gary. What's happening with all the talk? This one, I can't see that question anymore. Any deficit we have in accounts to address? I heard some ideas floating around to open club for outsiders. Yes, there was a discussion. Your developer, I think Sean's present here as well tonight. So we did have a discussion last night between your developer Lotus Living and the committee. And Lotus are having an information session in person at the club in September. Details will be circulated very soon. So they will be able to provide you with more details at that information session. And yeah, I hope that answers your question. And Amit, we have a question here from you. Any deficit we have in the accounts to address? I heard ideas floating around to open club for outsiders. I've just touched on that. But in terms of deficit, there was a deficit in one of the owners corporations when we took over management. And thankfully that has been resolved at this moment. We are currently working with your respective committees on the budget. We will endeavor to provide those to the members as soon as possible. Thank you, Amit. Fadil, When will Club Jubilee 2 be ready? What's in it? And will the OC fees be increased once Club Jubilee 2 is ready? Unfortunately, I do not have answers to those questions. I think Sean will be able to answer that either tonight, Sean, if you can, or there is an information session being held on the 12th of September. So I'll leave that to Lotus.
If I can answer that, if you like.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sean.
so we don't have a timeline on Club Jubilee 2 at the moment. So we're redesigning part of that precinct, but we don't have a time that we can relay at the moment.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for that question, Fadil. Sorry.
Sorry, has that changed from our approach last night? I'm under the impression it's been shelved for the time being. Is that correct, or it's still a work in progress and there's a timeline now added?
No, it's on hold. It's on hold while we redo some of the master planning in that precinct.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks, Phil. Lucy, who sets the fees? I was told they would decrease as more people build. So your fees are set by the owners in a sense. So what happens is we work with your committee to look at all the expenses from the previous year. We forecast the expenses for the following financial year. We look at the costs for all of your services, including the security patrols, the management fee, the events forecast, and all the aspects. And then we propose a budget at the annual general meeting, and the owners attend. They're invited and they attend the AGM, and the owners resolve to set the fees at these AGMs. In terms of you were told they would decrease as more people build. This is something that I cannot comment on. Yes, of course, if there's more lots to be added on the plan of subdivision, the individual fees may decrease, but at this point in time, we do not have that information. Phil, you have.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk to that if that's okay. So just to give a bit of a background for everyone that's lived in the Mill Quarter, over the last 2 years, we've been able to maintain the same fees at $1,200 per lot by managing our expenses quite well. And thanks to the previous committee for building a bit of a kitty, which has helped support some of the security costs. Obviously, Club 1 is the majority of the costs at $900 a pot. Everything else is really sort of minor in terms of the grand scheme of things. So at this stage, we're looking to maintain the fees at $1,200 for the Mill Quarter for the next 12 months. But without a doubt, if we can't bank some savings moving forward, there'll be a slight increase in fees depending on what services we decide to keep moving forward. So that really just comes down to, do we want to keep having security? That's one way to reduce fees, is to lose security. There's also another way by changing the management of Club 1, which that's out of our control, and that sits with Sean and the team at Lotus, to potentially get a better deal and some better service. So all that plays a part in getting to the $1,200 mark. So we're determined to hold that for as long as we can.
Perfect. Thank you, Phil. And I'd just like to add to that, the fees for all owners corporations are slightly different, and that is because of the different obligations each of the owners corporation has. Some owners corporations may have fewer lots contributing towards some of the services. And an example was one of the owners corporation had a deficit in the last financial year, and therefore we've had to increase the fees slightly more for the previous financial year. So there was a huge increase, but the idea is to ensure that the fees are maintained along the way consistent. We have another question, maybe a question for Sean. We were told that Club Jubilee is exclusive to residents only. Why are there talks of opening the lessons to the public? If this happens, will fees drop, as it's unfair for owners to pay for maintenance for something public are using? Sean, would you like to comment on this?
Yeah, sure. So we're looking at opening up just the swimming lessons. The impact on residents will be minimal. So even at peak times, if we open up for general public on the swimming lessons, and look, I will say that Jubilee residents will always have basically priority bookings. So even if you're on a wait list, you'll go on a priority wait list as well. We're opening it up so that we can improve the service, create more lessons, more levels of swim classes, and basically have a better service for everyone. And it is just the swimming lessons. It doesn't impact any other part. So doesn't impact the gymnasium, for example.
Thank you for that, Sean. And as I mentioned earlier, there will be an information session being held at Club Jubilee 1, conducted by Lotus Living and Bluefit. So if you have any further questions in relation to that matter, you may keep it for that day. And I don't see any other questions on the Q&A. Committee, do you have anything to add for tonight? Nothing? Okay, all good. As always, feel free to reach out to Quantum. Our email address is jubilee@quantumunited.com.au with any questions you may have, or give us a call. Our details are on our website. We're always happy to assist where we
Cheryl, there
can.
is one more question left.
Yes. Oh, sorry. There's one question. Amit, how's that decision was made on opening club for all? Amit, so this was suggested at about 6 to 8 weeks ago at one of the committee meetings with the milk water, but it was just a suggestion made, and we've recently, maybe a few days ago, last week, been advised that Lotus will be exploring that further. As mentioned earlier, there will be an information session held on the 12th of September. I believe we will provide you with more details in relation to that event, and I think Lotus will be able to address those questions for you.
Amit, just to add some information on it, when this was proposed during the last meeting, we did oppose it. Every member in the OC opposed it, especially the mill squatter. It doesn't take it into the consideration. Then again, we got the same proposal from Lotus. We have the same story, which is going on a loop, that they're going to do it. But again, let's see how the new session is going to go up, and based on the community feelings, and Lotus will decide on it.
Thank you, Anand. And Fadil has a question. Can we join Lotus meeting via Zoom? We'll have to find out, Fadil. I don't think that should be a problem because there's a screen in the meeting room. I'm not sure how Lotus will be organizing that. But we will let you know if it's a hybrid meeting where you can join. We will circulate all of that information to you. Thank you. Perfect. We have no other questions. Thank you, everyone, for your time tonight. We will circulate the presentation slides and the presentation to all community members so everyone can view it at their own time, just in relation to your structure, OC, and any other matters that we've touched on tonight. Thank you. We hope you all have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Phil, Anand.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.